My name is Jose Ramirez. I am a senior at Aikens High School. In the past years, I have worked with different software such as Flash, Photoshop, Maya, and Unity. I work hard and always try my best to be successful. After high school, I will attend Texas State University and study animal science. I used Maya to create this cage, which was the first class project. I used still images of steel and gold to create this cage. Environment creation using Unity. My first project with Unity was to create an environment. I created a terrain with the paintbrush to paint textures onto my black terrain. I learned how to use and locate the camera to get around the area where the video game will begin. Importing models using Unity. I exported this model of the cage I made in Maya into Unity, then I added textures to the cage. Lighting and character controlling Unity. I selected directional light and used the transformation control to move it into a natural position in the sky, then use the rotate tool to direct it where it looked appealing. Board game. I created this board game to learn the concept and rules of a game. Team game. I created a cat video game as an idea for a class video game. Photoshop interface. I use Photoshop and some internet images to create this interface to go with my pitch. Game 1. I used Unity to create a game environment using different tools. I added trees, water, and grass to make it look good. I also added textures to the buildings. Game object. I created this object in Maya and added textures to it. T-shirt design contest. I used Flash to design this t-shirt for a contest for the Neotech Academy. I used Maya to create this bird from a polygon primitive. Dev C++. We use Dev C++ to create programs and learn how to write code. Game Star Mechanic. I learned about space, components, mechanics, goals, and rules, and how important they are for a good game. Communication with mentor. I post my bird in my Unity environment and let my mentor know what I've planned for my game. C++. I learned how to declare all kinds of variables. There are floats, which are decimals, ints and integers, doubles, and very large numbers. Strings are words, chars are characters, and bools are yes/no or on/off tools. I also learned that I have to set up safety code so my programs won't crash. Usually this means that I provide an option for if the user chooses an incorrect answer. I then found that most programs need a tool for increasing numbers every time the program loops. We use x plus or x equals x plus 1 to increase the number in a program by 1 time every time it loops. X does the opposite. We're now learning about operators which are similar to math symbols but follow a very strict order. Parentheses come first, multiplication and division come second, and addition and subtraction come last. We learn about the string combination. UV texture editor. I use the UV textures to add textures to my character. Sprite sheet. I created 2D sprites from a 3D character in Maya and Photoshop. Sci-fi. I created the sci-fi world in Unity. Concept art. I hand drew an image of a robot and scanned it. I used Photoshop to clean it up and colored it in Flash. Rollerball. I followed a tutorial in Unity to make this video game. Bird flight. I created an environment in Unity so that the bird could fly over it. C++. I started learning about if statements, arithmetic processing, and X++. DemoReel. I used Premiere to create a demo reel of every project I've created in this class. We gathered a bunch of information on how to make our own company for video games. business website. I use Wix.com to create a business website for my small business. C++. The most recent thing we learned in C++ were practices using and illustrating if loops independent with T, also for loops, and do while loops using the operators and, or, and not. Character rigging for game player. I rigged this video game character for motion for our video game. Export an FBX to Unity. I went to Windows, Preferences and Settings, Plugin Manager to add the FBX plugin and then export it to the selected rig and geometry into the assets folder of my Unity project. Pigeon food. I created a seed model as food for our pigeon. Animated pigeon. I exported an FBX animation by reflecting the rig and the model and selecting Export Selection. The box that opened allowed me to check the animation and the bake animation boxes. I ignored the error messages, and I had a choice to save the selection in the assets folder or import assets. And after I opened the Unity project, I selected the bird and dragged the Take 001 item in its list of assets on the blank space above the controller box. Then I selected the Take 001 item and selected its edit button. I clicked the loop time button and then the bird animated. Distributing food. I duplicated the seeds and distributed them across the environment for the bird to catch. Game over canvas. This canvas displays game over when you lose your health. Web portfolio. I went to Wix.com and created an online portfolio for all of my projects.